The ministry of Hands and Feet Global originally started through a dream where I received a call from the Lord to do ministry in a specific village in Africa. This location turned out to be a remote village in the bush of Congo, which is under rebel control. It took us about a year and a half just to get permission to enter this particular village. So we began doing ministry in nearby villages in Congo, as well as some villages in Rwanda. When I first arrived in Congo, I was shocked to see the level of poverty. I saw kids all around with dirty, ripped clothes and distended stomachs from malnutrition. Some of the kids even had open wounds on their heads with flies on it. The homes in the villages were mud huts with dirt floors. About 80% of the women in this particular area of Congo had been sexually assaulted. Many of these women ended up pregnant as a result of the sexual assault, and most of them turned to prostitution just to feed their kids, which only perpetuated this cycle. What I witnessed was like something you would see in National Geographic. So I started a prayer ministry for these women with a team that joined me to pray through the trauma they had experienced. We ministered to and provided food for the malnourished children in the villages. We brought clothes and shoes to give away to people in need. We raised money to give chickens to some of the single moms and other disadvantaged families to help provide food. We had an amazing opportunity to provide a customized bicycle to a man with cerebral palsy who had to use braces on his arms and legs just to get around. Over time, I started to feel a strong call to evangelism, which led me to start doing crusades and outreaches. So we started to make that the focal point of our time on the mission field. One crusade we held was in a remote pygmy village in Rwanda, where we had 300 people show up and about 270 came forward to give their lives to Christ. We also had many people receive healing. As soon as the door opened to go into the rebel-controlled village, we held a 2-day crusade where thousands of people attended. The majority of the rebels attended, and according to the testimony of the local pastors, all of them in attendance gave their lives to Christ and are now attending church weekly and Bible study 2 days a week. Most of the violence and instability in this area came from the rebels, who were drunkards and would rape and beat women. A week after the crusade, the local pastor testified that the violence in the area controlled by the rebels had gone way down. Most of the village pastors throughout Africa have had no education or training, so we developed a curriculum that covers basic Christian theology and discipleship and started to train pastors. Because of the high level of poverty in these villages, many people do not have access to Bibles, so we started distributing Bibles to both pastors in need as well as some of the new believers from the crusades. We also started holding baptism events after the crusades to give the new believers the opportunity to be baptized. We've had the opportunity to provide over 14,000 pounds of food to malnourished children. Through Hands and Feet Global, we have been able to preach the gospel to thousands of people in various countries throughout East Africa and see God completely transform communities. From the provision of spiritual needs to the provision of physical needs, we have had the opportunity to sow seeds of hope and restoration into the hearts and lives of thousands of African people. There is a dire need for the gospel in these corners of the world. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. If you feel the Lord has called you to support mission, please consider offering up your daily prayers, provide administrative support or financial gifts. Please partner with me as we watch the Spirit of God multiply our loaves of bread and feed the thousands.